Anyways, we're finally back from some time of not learning. We're gonna continue where we left off, and that is about light and shadows. So as you can see, we are going to investigate this image. And at the start, can anybody tell me that what can be the light source that causes these shadows over here? Can anybody tell? Uh, Can anybody tell what the light's here?
The sun.
Yep, it could be the sun. It could be any light source actually. But in this image, you can see that the extra sun.
Please welcome Harry's sister.
We're gonna assume that it's the sun. So yeah. Awesome. Based on the shadows, which child here is riding the bicycle? You can say it in order. I'll Yeah, you can say in which order, like what child is it? First, second, third, or fourth, whatever. All right. All right. So this child is riding a bicycle because his shadow resembles a bicycle, and we will learn and we'll discuss more about the shadows in this lesson today. All right. So a shadow is made when light is blocked from opaque objects. So what is an opaque object exactly? An opaque object is something that the light cannot pass through. So for example, so if you see anything that you can see anywhere, for example, maybe what do I have? Maybe this is an opaque object. You cannot see what's behind it because this is an opaque object. So let's say if I put it's here, you can't really see the entirety of my face, right? Yeah. So an opaque object does not allow light to pass through, and because of it, because of that, when the sunlight blocks when the sunlight blocks gets because the sunlight emits a lot of light, it tries to pass through an opaque object, but instead the opaque object blocks it and it creates a really dark pattern behind it. So that's what a shadow is. It's basically just a dark version of an opaque object.
Are you a demon?
um yeah, all right. So, and because of the nature of each shadows do not have any details. You can only see the shape of it. If you You can only see the shape of what the shadow looks. You cannot determine whether a shadow is a human, or you can't even identify if a person is using a shadow. But also, not only that, but a shadow can have a very different shape. For example, you can see that this guy is really straight, but when you look at his shadow, you can see that it's very choppy. That's because the staircase is directly affecting the shadow. Therefore, it does not need to be the same shape or the size of the object that is being reflected, that has been the opaque object. So, knowing that, let's see some questions. So does everything have a shadow? Can anybody answer? Can anybody answer if everything has a shadow?
No.
Yep, exactly. Not everything actually has a shadow. For items for items that are very opaque, every that are very opaque, but it could actually be that there is no shadow for these objects. And also, and yeah, and also look at the yeah. So any very transparent object gets plastered through, the shadow will be very light or not at all. Anyways, Mia here has two shadows. Why is there two shadows? Why does she have two shadows?
Because of the lights.
And why of the lights? What is different for the lights here compared to the man?
The light, the lamp, um,
All right, there are two lights. So in a case of one light source, such as the sun, it will only give one shadow. However, you can see there are two lights over here. So that's why there's two shadows. She has two shadows because there are two light sources. Yeah. All right. So yeah. This is an experiment that again we couldn't do, but if you do have a road outside, a garden outside or something, you can always try to take a shadow. And again, a shadow is never similar to a person usually. Because unless because it can reflect on another object, or the sunlight can move the sun can move in any direction, which blasts the shadow in the other way. All right. No. All right. So yeah. See, transparent materials are not opaque. They are transparent. And as you've learned before, as Washington has said, we cannot make a shadow with transparent objects, because we can see clearly through this. We can clearly see it and clearly see the object. So yeah. Um. So first thing, why is glass really good for making windows? And if you can remember what a window is, it's a thing that allows you to see what the outside looks like. All right. Yeah. So, glass is very good for making windows because it is transparent. And as you can see, some objects like this have light that can pass through. So if I put this like here, you could still see, right? Exactly. Yeah. So that's an example. So many shops use glass in the front windows so that people can see what they look like. So for example, if I put a brick wall here, I cannot see what is behind this. It's like putting a black paper all around the shop. Many shops use glass because very it is very transparent, so everybody can see what their models look like and they want to buy it. However, the main thing with glass is that it is very that if it breaks, it is really sharp. Unlike some other materials where they break, it isn't as harmful. If you break glass, it's going to be really harmful for your body, and it is extremely sharp. So if you actually touch glass, you can actually cut yourself, which I do not want. I'm not responsible for this. Anyways, a way to find an object is opaque or transparent is to get a flashlight and put it through an object. If you can see the light, on the other side, you would know that this object is transparent. However, if it forms a shadow, it is not transparent. But we would not be able to do that. We don't have a flashlight. However, you could try your mother's flashlight though. So yeah. All right. So now we're gonna learn about changing shadows. Oh my god, it's so laggy. Okay, here we go. So we're going to investigate how these shadows can change. And also, yeah, we're not going to do the objectives. We can investigate how shadows can change. We can explore how shadows are formed when light is blocked by the object. We can make predictions, we can record. Okay, that the last three are just for the scientific method. Anyways, can anybody tell me why these shadows are so long? This is not a shape of a human. This looks very long. Can anybody tell me Why? These shadows.
Because like the sun is in a direction and it has like something that stretch the shadow longer.
Yep, the sun does directly affect shadow. So when it gets closer to noon, your shadow gets shorter because the sun is directly on top of it. But then as it transitions to night, your shadow gets longer until it disappears because the sun doesn't even shine anymore. And then when the night comes, the street lights start to start. Yeah, so exactly. They are this is also correct. And also where you stand kind of matters on how these shadows might get longer. If you for example, if you sit on the correct side where the sun is going, your shadow could be shorter or longer. I forgot. Your shadow could be short longer. However, if you go to the wrong side, the shadow could be longer or no, shorter. So the position does matter as well. So have you ever seen a shadow in your classroom?
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. So that means there must be something right to make these shadows. And also, if you were sometimes daydreaming in your class, have you ever seen your shadows moving and moving? All right. If you so basically, if you have you ever seen the shadows mysteriously moving whenever you were learning or just having home time? Like for example, at the day you just see that your shadow's on the left, and then the night your shadow just becomes the right.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is because of the sun and your light source. Your light source, it changes itself. It changes because the sun moves at different positions and it goes from left to right, which changes the shadow from left to right. So yeah. Anyways, a shadow can look like what the object is. It does not 100% shows what the shadow itself is, but it could show an approximately correct shape. So, for example, can anybody tell me what this is using the shadow only?
A car?
A car.
A car.
Yes, exactly. But can you tell me the exact model of the car?
Straight.
Yeah, you cannot tell. So shadows are kind of accurate because you know what the shape is, but by exactly what this is, you would rather see it instead of looking at the shadow because it only provides the simplest details. Anyways, can anybody tell me what number 4 is?
It's a plane.
Yes. Can you tell me the exact model of the plane? Or at least just a little bit about the plane, other than that it flies. Of course not. You cannot tell me exactly what the plane is. So that's what about your shadows are. Shadows can tell you what the item is, but it cannot tell you what exactly 100% what the item actually is. Now, this is a little bit more tricky. Can anybody tell me what number 2 is?
It's a fish.
Fish.
It's a fish.
Yeah, it is a fish. I confuse it as the bird. I'm dumb. Anyways, um, anyways, yeah, you can always see what the item is. It resembles the shape, but you cannot actually tell what exactly the item is. That's what the shadows are.
So
And
shadows are not as
right,
useful.
this does not look like a fish. This does not look like your fish that you see every day. That's because the shape of a shadow changes depending on the direction you go in. All right. So, all right, we are going to learn more about. Wait, I think there's something up there. Sorry.
Now that thing is transparent.
So,
I think it's
all right.
a bit transparent.
I do have a light source. So, everybody will have to probably use this light source too. All right, so, we can see we have this light, right? So I'm gonna put this here. So as you can see, can everybody look at my camera? Can you see my camera?
Yes.
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 All right. So, can you see a shadow down here?
No.
Yeah.
A little bit or a lot?
A little bit. A little bit.
Now can you see?
A lot.
Exactly. Yes. So, why does the shadow change its shape? It starts from this very clear rectangle, right? And then when it goes up, it looks more of a little area that covers the whole thing. And if you go way too up, you can't even see the shadow at all. That's because the shadow is so small that you can't see the difference. But the shadow does exist. See, it's here. But then when I move it up, you just realize it's not existent. So yeah, what can you observe from this? I forgot to turn on my lights. So yeah, that's an excuse for me to turn on my lights. So yeah, can anybody tell me what happens on when the shadow
I've ever met.
Oh yeah, not only that, but if you rotate this to make it look like here, I want to get my hand interfering. So you see here, right? Can you see the shape change?
Yeah, it's like the width, not the length.
Exactly.
I mean, like,
yes. I understand. And so we can observe from this that the shadow changed shape because I rotated the object or moved the object, and because I do not have any lights I can turn off for now. The lights are turned off so that you can see the shadows clearly. But I have a really bright light, so I can try to do that right now. So, this is what you can do at 9 p.m. at the night, and you have a flashlight. You can always make shadow animals using some shapes. It is really not fun, really fun. I mean, I don't know if it's fun or not, but yeah. Anyways, we're gonna see it again. So we are going to have the same experiment again, but we're going to measure how much of the shadow it is. So let's put it here. I will measure how long this is. So we can predict around 7 centimeters, right? When we get bigger, I need to assume that it's probably around 15 centimeters. So based on that quick experiment we just did, we can see that the shadow gets bigger the closer you put it to the light source. But when you get further from the light source, you can't really see any shadow, but the shadow looks way clearer. So yeah, that is what we learned about shadows. All right, 3.3, transparent materials. So let's go. Let's wait a little bit. All right, yeah. So we're going to find how light could pass through transparent materials. And also what the risks of these materials are. Because as I've already said before, glass is really dangerous if you break it. And you need parental protection, whatever it is. Parental permission for you to use this. And also parents should supervise what you're doing with transparent objects.
Ơi mấy giờ là nghỉ hả mẹ?
Anyways, so clean water is transparent. Water is transparent, and we can see a lot of things in the water. You can see all these, right? However, Some water is opaque. You can't see what's behind the water. And some is transparent. How can transparent water become opaque? Hint. Hint. Why you hint? Dirt. Yeah. How can water become opaque? Can anybody tell me? All right. Since nobody can. Wait, dirty water? All right, it is from dirty water. Dirty water makes things look opaque because a lot of the dirt is in the water. You can try this at home by getting some dirt and mixing it with water, and you can see that the water becomes opaque. You can't see the water anymore. So, when do we use transparent materials? Where do we use it as well? So, we use a lot of it in homes, buildings, and cars. So, have you ever seen your car and you see, yeah. So, if you're in a motorbike or a car, in the motorbike, you see that it gives you a lot of stats like the speed, the fuel amount, etc. That uses glass. And if you see the car and you see there's a really big screen in quotation marks, that is glass. All right, so it is transparent material. The glass is very transparent. And glass can be really strong. For example, this bridge has a lot of this tempered strong glass. Why is this? Because this glass is strong enough for people to walk on it. Not only that, but materials that are transparent can allow for light to pass through them. And because of that, we can see a lot using transparent things. For example, this goggle. This goggle is transparent, so she can see everything around her. Yeah, so they help us see clearly, and glasses can change how you see things. One day you can't see anything, and the other, when you wear glasses, you can see everything. So, as you can see, why are dark sunglasses no help when you're indoors?
Because like it doesn't have production glasses that we need because it doesn't have light, so it can't reflect on them.
Yep.
So we can't. So it's like dark,
It's not funny.
and there's no reason to use them because it's like dark inside, so it would be more darker if you wear dark sunglasses.
Yes, correct. It gets darker if you use sunglasses. So, you can see a lot of things that are transparent. For example, the screen that you're using right now is transparent and is made of glass. Not only that, but your windows are, your magnified glasses are, your lab and ordinary glasses are, and of course your fish tank is made of glass. So, yeah, you should not make a curtain out of glass if you want it to be opaque. Oh damn, we have translucent as well. And we actually rush it. All right, we can't make a pair of sunglasses. All right. So, all right. So there are visors, which is basically a cool way to say glasses. Also, they need visors so that they cannot get hurt by the sunlight. So, say before, sunglasses are used to make the sun less bright for you and make it less worse for you to see. That here you use visors for astronauts so that they can see clearly and better, but they are so dark that we cannot see the face. That is what these are used for. So that's why you always see these astronauts wearing this black light thing when it's supposed to be like yellow, whatever. All right, translucent materials. So yeah. So, as you can see, these children are telling a really fun story. And how are these shadows made? And how do we see them on this sheet of fabric? Just to answer how these shadows are made. Right. So these shadows are made by using materials to make it look like a true story. It is really fun. Anyways, the glass here is usually transparent. It lets the light go through. However, and also you can read through transparent glass. So, you could read this, right? Can you still read? Oh, I can't use this ruler. You can still read this because it's from glass. You can still read it. Yeah. However, there are some materials that make it harder to see. Wait, they literally copied the no, no way. They actually they made it. Okay. So basically, they just made it repeating on their boat. This is actually so weird. Anyways, continuing on. When the glass is frosted or patterned to make it it makes it translucent. This is so that it can make it harder to see. So as you can see, this is actually not transparent. This is translucent. You can see through it, but you can't see through everything. However, some glass is transparent. It can pass right through. However, light is scattered when I put it near here. And we can also make shadows from these translucent materials. Again, you can see this is translucent. You can see that there's a very, very... Can everybody see the shadow? There's a really, really small shadow when I place this translucent material through. So this is so that's how you can doing some fun with fabric. So a friend a friend says translucent materials are a source of light. How do you prove that what he's saying is wrong? Can anybody tell me how you would prove that he's wrong? Right. Anyways, these are a translucent material blocks some of the light and makes it scattered, then it's not a light source. So yeah. And as you can see, there are a lot of things that I cannot do. So we are finished with you guys can watch if you have anything confused. So confused. See ya.